Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the farm. According to the U.S. federal government, we had a couple tenths of an inch of rainfall last night, or 3, 4, or 5 millimeters for you metric folk. To this day, I'm not entirely sure how the government collects rainfall data. Some people say they use satellites, and there is a small portion of people out there who say birds actually do not exist, that every bird in the United States is a drone. I'm not even going to begin to dive into that topic because that is way above my pay grade. I'm just the face guy here.
I'll just say this though, I would not be the least surprised if those pigeons up there do not work for the government. They sit up there and steal our stuff all day. Bad! Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, he just relocated a foot.
Anyways, this weather has put us in the same situation as yesterday. Not enough to really amount to a whole lot of moisture, but enough to be a pain in the rear end. So we're gonna find something to do. Exactly the kind of weather we wanted to cut some soybeans. On the bright side, we did get all this corn picked. Yes, that is a big field. It's still going. And going. And there's the end of it, right there. I'm headed over to our neighbor Kevin's place right now. For the last handful of years, Kevin has borrowed one of our four-wheel drive tractors. He's not a huge farmer by any means. He has a nice set of equipment, but at his size, there's no reason to buy a couple $100,000, 400 plus horsepower tractor when he can rent one, lease one, or borrow one off of us for next to nothing compared to the overall price of a new one or a used one. He borrows ours, and this year he's also trying out a vertical till on it. And of course the vertical till has a flat tire, so I'm taking it off. I try to be very cautious and observant when finding a restroom at someone else's farm, because who knows who has a view of what. This looks like a good place right here. Yeah, that restroom has a nice view, a great ambiance to it. Give it a 5-star on Yelp.
Well, there's the troublemaker right there. This one? Nope. This one?
These things are little rascals. I told Kevin and Wade when they took off with this thing that they have to keep an eye on these wing tires because they always go flat. And lo and behold, they said this one went flat. They aired it up, but that is the culprit. Put these back on a little bit, that way if they run it before we bring the tire back, we don't lose it. All right, come on, troublemaker. Ugh. Kevin normally just borrows our 9460R tractor here for his own ripper. He wanted to try the vertical till out, like I said. Had some dirt work projects. He wanted to generate some loose topsoil. I think this vertical till is a very underrated piece of equipment. That deep tillage is nice. It does a lot of different things that maybe a vertical till can't do. May not be necessary in a lot of instances though. Is he being nice to you? You can tell us if he isn't. Okay, that's enough work for the day. Time to call it quits.
Our field of corn that got absolutely ravaged by hail is just down the road from Kevin. I want to pick this stuff. I mean, even with all of that damage, look at this ear. That's massive. This is the biggest ears I've seen on any of our corn. It could possibly be because the hail thinned out the stand, so subsequently we have bigger ears, less population, less competition. Bigger ears is the result. I would like to think though that we have a good stand still with the exception of some skips and some little nubbins here. And maybe this will be our best field of corn this year. It's a very big maybe. I have noticed that the tops are starting to break out of the plants. Probably has to do with the hail and the hybrid itself. Hail allowed for disease to enter the crop. Disease weakened the stalks and the plant overall. And the hybrid itself may have been susceptible to some anthracnose or other types of stalk rots. Either way, I'm excited to pick this corn. Oh, you're gonna have to color me surprised 2 days in a row. I was at home enjoying myself and then I get the call. The sun's shining, we're gonna pick some corn. By no means am I complaining about being able to get corn out. Anytime we get the opportunity to roll, we should always send it, if it's within reason at least. Yesterday was a little bit on the sloppy side, but the field we're going to should be a little bit better. We're always on call during planting or harvest season. Any other time, I might tell Dad to leave me alone. The combine is rolling off in the distance. He's already loading a truck, so I am late. Not much I can do about it, though. I'm usually granted about a 5-minute heads up, which doesn't work out well because it takes me 15 minutes to get out to the farm. Hopefully that's not deducted from my pay. You know I clock in before I leave home. Is it even really that wet if water doesn't come pouring off the tarp when you remove it? I don't think so. I'm not cutting any corners today. Make sure we got oil. It's a little bit low, but the tractor's kind of sitting on a slope right here. I would imagine the oil's at the back of the pan. Let me just summon the key really quick. There it is. Carry on. Radio beeped, that's always good. On paper, this is probably one of our least productive farms around home. And it's probably gonna be one of our best this season, or at least the highest yielding compared to its average production history. Does that make any sense? No, not really at all. This very light soil, not high in productivity, thrives when it's extremely wet. And it has been tremendously wet. Keep in mind, we don't run such a high population on this light soil as we would on some of our darker, more fertile ground. And look at these ear sizes. That's pretty impressive for ground that you wouldn't take 9 years out of 10, if not 19 years out of 20. Does that make any sense? No, not really. But what does? Here are those high yielding 3/9 soybeans that we had to leave behind because they were too wet. They're definitely way too tough to cut, and I would venture to say, based on how hydrated they are, that they would not test moisture-wise. Survey says 18 or 19%. The sun and the wind will help. They won't go today, though, I can promise you that. Just imagine if you tried to run these green stem beans through the combine at 18% moisture. They were tough enough at 10% moisture. This farm averaging 230 would be more impressive than the farm the other day making 260, if that explains anything to you. Comparatively speaking, this is just worse farm ground. It looks like this may be short-lived. Regardless, this window needs cleaned. We'll break out Millennial Farmer's finger trick here. Was that magic? No. It was just John Deere Classic Glass Cleaner. I've been slowly hacking away at these windows in between loads. I'm not the pickiest person in the world. The windows were starting to bother me. So I'm sure some of you neat freaks out there were about to croak over looking at these. For the most part, the windows are good, except for the final boss, the muddy mule. I might just leave that to irritate some of you. Wow, you could not get any more corn on a hopper than that right there. That's impressive. Sometimes you're the person who gets the pleasure of watching it rain on other people. Other days, you're the one getting rained on. Today, we just happen to be the former, and I'm not complaining. Although we are cutting it pretty close. It's raining about a mile to the west. Very hard. Whoa! All right, everyone inside. We gotta wait at least 30 minutes after the last lightning bolt to continue working. That's how this goes, right? Safety. This is us, the blue dot, right here south of Paradise, and this is that storm. It's definitely creeping its way closer to us, but I think fate may be on our side right now. Things can always change. We're cutting it really close with this rain to the west. It's pouring over at Kevin's, I'd say.
Do you see that lightning strike north of Fogarty's?
Oh, I didn't see that. Was there one straight to the north of us?
Yeah, I think so.
At the moment, we're in a garden spot compared to the surrounding areas. Although that ominous looking cloud right there makes me think differently. Our time out here in the field may be limited. That mud, oh my gosh. Wow. I don't know how that all the feeder house filled it. Well, that'll slow us down.
I'll do more than that, it'll stop us.
That puts a whole other spin on playing in the mud. Typically the corn head is not supposed to be full of that stuff. It was fun while it lasted. We made the most of the opportunity. The window is closing though, very rapidly.
Leave that auger wagon that Chris is up in there by his house, right up the lane or whatever till you get up there, or driving the cornfield.
This is what I get for cleaning the windows. Tarp man's getting wet. Speed demon there's got all the snouts locked up from bouncing up and down through the field. Not entirely sure what the hurry is, but he's gonna have that new corn head dug into the ground. You worried you're gonna get wet or something? No comment. Oh, look who decided to join us again. The sun. Great. Now people are gonna think I actually work. As the tractor cools down, I should mention, don't forget to check out aTrippyFarmer merchandise on farmfocus.com. Be a link in the description below. It's actually kind of lame to get rained out while the sun is shining. That's not a twist of fate, I don't know what is. A few acres here, a few acres there. Should be done by Christmas. Now with the sun shining, it's still raining. We should be due for a rainbow. Oh, there it is right there. That's not even that far away. That's actually kind of funny. The rainbow is pointing right at one of our fields of corn. Must be telling us something. Oh, there we go. It's a perfect rainbow. Whoop. Woo. Looks like we just have a long enough break from the rain to unload this truck. We didn't quite have the window I thought we did because it is raining again. Make sure we run this empty, let this old tractor cool down because it runs pretty hot. We'll shut her off. Look how warm she gets. Ah, I'm melting! The harvest season of 2021 has already been the polar opposite of 2020. If I remember correctly, last season we worked for at least 4 weeks straight. We were in the midst of a 9 to 10 week drought that ended our growing season, left a lot of yields on the table, but it did allow us to harvest our crop very quickly. Almost too quickly because our corn dried out way more than we wanted it to. It was 11–12%, whereas most of our corn right now is in that 16 to 17% range, which is almost ideal to be putting in the grain bin. Shoot, more rain. Oh man, as much as I'd like to stay here and keep entertaining all you fine folks, Mother Nature's sending another round of heavy showers across the countryside. I think that's gonna be it for today. Everyone, I really appreciate you tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you wanna see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.